Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody, and thank you for coming. You are really in for a treat tonight. All the instructors from the Stock Whisperer Trading Company are here, and each of them is going to share one of their secrets for trading the stock pools successfully pretty much every day. Now, this presentation is being recorded, and the link to the recording will be sent out to everyone by Matthew. And Stephanie and the instructors have asked that you submit your questions via email to the address she will post. Now keep your hands in the ride at all times and no flash photography. I'm going to turn you over now to Stephanie Kammerman, the founder and managing director of the Stock Whisperer Trading Company. Enjoy the evening, everybody, and thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight, and thank you there, 8-Man, for that introduction. You guys, tonight we're going to be sharing our favorite secrets to trading, especially the dark pool. You're going to get a chance to meet all of our instructors. We have Jane, Paul, John, Donda, and myself. So I know that some of you have probably read my book, Dark Pool Secrets. I share lots of secrets about the dark pool, how to profit off Wall Street's hidden trades. These are the trades that move the market. Is there anybody here tonight that does not know about the dark pool? Usually we have one in the crowd, although we are getting a lot more popular. When I started doing this years ago, pretty much everybody did not know what the dark pool was. So it's pretty much I'm going to keep it simple tonight. It's an alternative exchange where the big guys do all of their trades. That's it. It's just an extra exchange kind of hidden on the side where Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Barclays do all their trades hidden away from all of us. So if they have 6 million shares to buy, we don't see one single share until their entire order is completed. And they have 3 hours to report these trades once they're finished. Now, these are the guys that are moving the market. So when they buy, it goes up. When they sell, it goes down. So why would you want to do anything else except follow these guys, right? This is what we do. People thought that I was psychic. For many years, I would go around and say, buy Microsoft or sell the market. You know, we're going to have a correction. And I'm not psychic. Yeah, the dark pool is, is my crystal ball. In fact, I have a 90% documented success rate on my Whisper of the Day recommendations. I'm going to show you today's. Hopefully some of you guys caught some of those great trades today. I've called the last 18, actually that should be 19 because just called another correction on social media and live trading rooms before they've happened. I've spotted insider trading. All this stuff is in my book, by the way, and it's free if you go to darkpoolsecrets.com. So a lot of people ask me the question, okay, Steph, so you have a big guy on one side of the trade, but who's on the other? Well, I'm going to show you guys. There's either Goldman Sachs, Barclays, or JP Morgan on one side of this block trade. And we're talking massive prints, 3 million, 6 million. Who's on the other side? He is, she is, he is, she is. Yeah, the little guys are on the other side of the trade. And that's why the big guys always win and the little guys always lose. But I'm here to change this. This is my mission in life, to make sure that us little guys are following the big guys, not on the other side of the trade. And you can see what happened recently, right? When that happened, well, we actually front run the big guys. And yeah, all those Reddit trades got in a lot of trouble, right? Yeah, they didn't like that. Well, we pretty much have 4 different kinds of dark pool prints or trades. And these are executed. And I'm going to show you a couple different examples. All right, we have real-time prints. These are the trades that are happening right now. We know it because the price is where it's at. We have late buy prints. That's when a correction is over. We see those. We have late sell prints. That's when a correction is about to happen, and I'm going to show you that tonight. And then we have market on close prints. These are big trades right at the end of the bell, and we ignore these. The best ones are right in the middle of the day when I think everybody has left and gone for lunch. But I'm always watching those. So let's talk about the real-time prints because they splash. And they splash in the opposite direction of the true intended move. Let me show you a recent example on Halliburton. So on February 9th, we got these two massive trades that came in, $3 million at 1960 and then another $3 million at 1966. And I posted this out in all my trading rooms, the Java Pit trading room, the training pit, and also on my dark pool app as it was happening. But we don't want to jump in right away because we're going to get splashed. So here's where the print happened. You can see we splashed down. Then we moved up. And then guess what happened? We came down. This is a very popular pattern. We tested the prints. And then we move up. And this happens all the time. So a lot of times when they're selling, they splash it up first and then they move it down. All right. So did you guys see this correction coming, especially in the QQQs? A lot of people didn't really see it happening, but we did. So on February 16th, I started to see a very heavy level of these late dark pool sell prints. And these are 24 hours late, you guys. Yeah, this is actually illegal, but there's a loophole that floor traders have where if they cross a trade from their desk in New York with their desk in London, they don't have to report the trade for 24 hours. And this is our secret to seeing when they're selling and buying. It's amazing. And they have a secret signature share size right there. Here was the price, $336.39. But guess what? It was not trading there. It was trading lower, right? Almost $1 lower. And they kept coming in all day long. And this was the heaviest level we had seen in quite a while. And we got another heavy level the next day. And so in my live trading room, I started to put protection on. How many of you trade options? You have any options traders in here? Options are the best, right? We catch them off guard when they're really cheap. All right, excellent. A lot of you guys do. Perfect. Well, I put on a put debit spread. All right, I bought to open the 328 puts. I sold to open the 327 puts. $13 a contract, and they didn't expire until 226. So a week later. Right here is where I started to go short on the QQQs. And let me tell you something. I rode this all the way down. These are my trades in the alert tab in our Java Pit trading room, our live trading room. All of our traders have been trained, and I'm literally walking you through every single trade on the Qs that I've taken since February 17th, and I call them all out in the room so traders can follow along. And let me just tell you, it was spectacular. I'm still in this, by the way. This was a trade I put on today. I rolled into 295 puts. I bought to open those. I sold to open the 294 puts. They cost me 30 cents and they don't expire until March 19th. And why did I put this on? Because I wanted to avoid exit-itis. And guess what? Paul's going to be teaching about exit-itis tomorrow in the training pit. So this is our training pit class schedule. And you can see right here, yep, Paul's going to be teaching how to conquer that. But I'm going to be teaching next week, Introduction to the Dark Pool Swing Trading, how to swing around the dark pool. And then the next week, I'm going to be teaching bullish above, bearish below, how to day trade. Do we have any day traders here? Every morning in the training pit, all right, I come in really early, 3 o'clock in the morning my time, that's Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern, and I start mapping out these trades. This is today's whispers. And I start with the SPY, bullish above, we're going long, bearish below, and I'm very carefully mapping out targets using pivots, moving averages, all this. I teach all of this stuff in the training pit. All right, but you can see today, we hit targets on both sides of the SPY. Look at that. Every single target was hit. Yep, it was awesome. The Russell, we hit a lot of targets on both sides. The Qs, that's what I traded personally. The E-minis hit every single target. The NASDAQ. Oil futures hit all their targets. I do futures. I do Bitcoin futures. And then I go to individual stocks. Now, they don't always work out. SOS got stopped out, did not hit a target on the upside, but guess what? Downside hit all the targets. NEO hit targets on both sides. AMC, Apple got stopped out today on the long side. Great trade on the short side. Tesla hit all of our targets. Did you guys trade any of these? Bank of America hit a couple targets. Marvell, FCX hit all the targets on both sides. I mean, today was a great trading day. So it's awesome today. Mara hit all the targets, a great retracement trade, and so did Riot. So it's great that I map these out for you, but don't you guys want to learn how to do this yourself? Yeah, so this is why we opened up this training pit, to teach you how to put the dark pool on your software and how to do this yourself, how to start the process of learning around the dark pool. So we have a special tonight. Just want to tell you about it now. I'll tell you about it later again. But if you do join our training pit, go to thedarkpools.com. Tonight, the first 10 people to sign up, I'm going to give you a free workshop, Counting the Cards of Wall Street, Part 1. I teach you a lot about how to spot a correction, a lot of the basic stuff, and I want you to have this to help you along in your process. All right, so I'm going to pass the mic to Paul, who's going to talk about ECN books. All right, so take care, everybody. I'll see you a little bit.
Hi, everyone. This is Paul. I go by the Alien in the Java Pit. Nice to see you all tonight. I'd love to teach you what I do with these ECN books, electronic communication networks. This is one of the edges I use to really supercharge my trading. And it really helps with my entries and my exits on the trades that I'm doing day trading each day. So here is a picture of where it all started, the ticker tape, way back in the early 20th century, I believe this photograph was taken. And the modern day equivalent of it are things like that you see on the top right. And they've now become computerized, so we see them in time and sales windows. So these time and sales windows are what I use along with the order book, which is what we call the ECN book. It's a list of orders. And the level 1, here's Bank of America. Level 1 basically tells us the answer to one very, very simple question. How much is a stock going to cost me? And in this case, we have a bid price of $34.52, an offer price of $34.53. So if we wanted to buy this Bank of America, one share would cost us $34.53. So that's very simply what level 1 is. Doesn't really give us that much information except how much it's going to cost us and a few other things. And this is what I teach my students in the training bit about level 1. And then I go on and talk to them about level 2. Now level 2 is basically a list of prices on the order book. And as you can see on the right here, same stock, Bank of America, what it does is it lists the best price that each different exchange is got on the bid and the offer. So here you see the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ is the same exchange, $28. And to the right of that, you'll see the share size. So you multiply that by 100 is 23,200 shares, and so on. So you get all the different exchanges that are available to us, and they're all connected together, and they all compete for our business, so to speak. So they all tend to offer the same price, which doesn't really give us much more information, a little bit more, but not much. Gives us the share sizes, all right? So absolutely crucial in figuring out, what is a fair price for a stock at any given moment? Well, we can find it by looking in these books. Now, what I really want to get to is the next one. So there's the order book. Lists the number of shares on bid and the offer at each level, each price level. Okay, and the exchange it's on. Now, level 3 is even further into the order book. So the first exchange that was created, ever existed, it was the Internet back in 1969. That's when the first dark pool exchange was created. This is a dark pool exchange. It's actually owned by the NASDAQ nowadays. It was bought by the NASDAQ several years ago. And you can see further down the book with this. All right, it's dynamic. So here's a list on the left of all the people who got limit orders, traders with limit orders that haven't yet executed in the ECN. Okay, so you can see much further down, and you can see the share size. So on the right there, you see 2850 selling, and they want to sell 11,400 shares. So that is invaluable information to tell us perhaps where we might want to exit our trade if we're already in, and get out before that trade fires off. And by the way, went live in December of 1969. And there's more information, GSCO, which stands for Goldman Sachs Corporation. So Goldman Sachs is another key marker, which gives us invaluable information about when to get in and out of the stock. And there's the Saturn V rocket taking off that year. Remember the noon shot? I watched that on a black and white television at home when I was 9 years old. Absolutely glued to the TV we were, like most people who were alive at the time. So we have these dark pools, right? Now we don't normally see the activity of the dark pool in these order books. We can see little fingerprints, but we don't see the big dark pool prints in them very much. So it limits, what we can get out of them, but not completely. There are other ways of detecting dark pool activity. And the way that I do this, it's kind of like I play detective. And I use a combination of things. I use the ticker tape, which is the time and sales window, and those order books, the ECNs. And I combine them. So I have the order book on the left and the time and sales on the right. This is the SPY. And I can see the different price levels for buying and selling, bids and offers. And on the right, I can see the actual trades firing off, and I can detect where the dark pool is doing its activity. You see that second arrow down on the left, on the right? That's 251,300 shares. That's a massive print. And that's one of those special prints that comes from Goldman Sachs that they do regularly every day, and they're 24 hours late. And so this is how I detect them, is in this time and sales window. And it's great fun because it's like, oh, I found something out and now I can use it to my advantage. Rather than, saying that the dark pool is something that is nefarious and shouldn't exist, why not use it for our advantage? And so that's why I teach this, is to try to open up the what's really going on underneath the covers, so to speak, and help people really start to, supercharge their trading. And just a question of knowledge, really. So where are the big boys firing off their large orders? This is what the ECN book tells us, where the big boys are, and we can follow along with them and benefit from their trading as well. So there's several things I do. Here's Bank of America again. We can use these bigger orders as targets. We can take profit before their trade fires off. All right. So instead of waiting until it gets to 28.50, I can put a sell order in and sell it like 1 or 2 cents beforehand. And then I know that I've got a good exit. 104, that's 11,400 shares. Now, there's other possibilities. What they do is they do get up to some illegal activity. Can you believe that? They actually put in that they're going to sell, and the stock starts to approach their number, and then they take it away because they're trying to fool us into thinking that they're selling when they're not. So sometimes what I do is wait until it gets there and watch it very closely to see if it's going to punch through. If it punches through, don't sell. If it hits it, goes up, comes back down again, then it might be that they're actually not spoofing. But it's pretty fun to find out what they're up to a lot of the time. The second is that they execute and the stock continues up. So the market takes the seller out. Okay. And then there's this refreshing, we call it. And this can often indicate that there's dark pool activity going on at a certain price when the stock just sort of flatlines for a few minutes, or can flatline all day. I've seen that happen. And I go think to myself, I wonder if there's going to be a dark pool print come out. And invariably it happens. So there's the spoofing, the object, their orders magically disappear just before it gets reached. Okay. We teach about that, teach about getting taken out, and refreshing, which is basically what we call an iceberg order. They have millions of shares to sell, but they don't use dark pool prints to do it. They just rattle off 1,000 shares here, 500 shares here, all at the same price all day long. Okay, and there's that. So trading with level 3 is like taking a blindfold off. Or if you're not trading with it, it's like having a blindfold on. So the level 3 helps us with identifying prices to enter, prices to cover our shorts, prices to take profits. Now, last year, there was a very interesting set of prints that came in on this 3 times spider short ETF, the bear ETF. Normally we don't trade these things. They're much too dangerous to trade. They're really only meant for professional traders. But we can see the activity that happens. So on this day, the 4th of May last year, pre-market, I saw this activity on SPXS. They were printing lots and lots of little sized amounts, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. So on that morning, I took a look, and to have a look and see what was going on, I saw this. From 11:23 to up to 11:32, firing off all these dark pool prints. Form Ts, which is special, they have to do this when they're doing it outside normal hours. So I took a look at the chart. Here it is again in Thinkorswim. And then I saw these volume spikes. Aha! See, playing detective? And there they are. Then I looked at the ECN book and I spotted something else. Which is this buying or selling? Don't know yet, right? But then I saw these orders on the book where they're selling 10,000 blocks of 10,000 shares at 11:35, 11:36, 11:37, 11:38. And I went, this looks like they're selling this. That's the, not 100% sure, but it looks that way. All right? The 7 is probably just noise. They're probably chunks of 10,000. So then look at the chart for that time. Here's the 4th. Here's the day it happened, and then it went straight down. So 4 or 5 days later, it bounced, and then it continued further down. So it splashed down and up and down. And then look what happened to the SPY. Did the exact opposite. This was the bottom of the COVID. Remember last year? This is when they started buying at the bottom. So we can tell where they're starting to buy just by looking at the dark pool prints and doing a little bit of detective work. Now there's another dark pool favorite, silver, SLV. Anybody trade SLV recently? It's been in the news on Reddit after, you know, the Robin Hood was going on. Here, look at this one. I was looking in the ECN book one day and I saw this, 38,700 shares. Seller at 27.16. Interesting, no? Then I looked up the short volume on silver on that day. Everybody remember this day when the short squeeze happened? There's the seller. There's the exit right before him. Right there. So these are the kind of things if you start to use these tools, and they are freely available. You might have to pay for some of them, but most of them are free. You can get all of this information in Thinkorswim and Schwab. I use DashTrader Pro, which is my platform of preference to find all this information out, and also a few other things. Daily Short Volume is a website. I can tell you all about that in the trading pit. So who likes to bottom fish? Anybody like bottom fishing? No one? I do. I love bottom fishing. Here's General Electric. Look at this order for $6 on the INET, the Instanet, and the Archipelago, which is the New York Stock Exchange, or one of them. 346,000 shares at $6. 436,000 shares at $6. Looks like buying, doesn't it? Wow. Then let's look at GE. Straight up from 6 all the way up to almost $14. All right, I think I'm almost done. Tomorrow I'm doing this guy and teaching the students how to exit stocks without getting into the following problem. How many of you have ever, I've done this before many times, you get into a stock, it starts moving up, and then suddenly fear comes into my space. Panic sets in, and then I sell, and then the stock rockets up and I miss all the profits. I got out way too early. So we have a very, very simple technique to do this. You know the great thing about doing this, or not so great thing, is I then go and trash myself for doing it. That always works. All right. So tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, exit-itis and enter-itis. I'd love to see you there. And I'll be teaching all kinds of workshops. Things like basic options, spreads, hardware, ETFs, mutual funds, risk management, all kinds of things. I love teaching about it. So the more the merrier. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Paul. That's amazing. And you gave them a little glimpse of the short volumes. So I am Jane Galena here, also known as Airplane Jane. If you guys ever see me tweeting, I just tweeted about this as well for today. And let's make sure we've got the screen up. There we go. All right. So you guys know that the short squeeze has been in the news like crazy. SEC is into it now. A lot of people are on to the short squeeze. What exactly is the short squeeze? Well, the short squeeze is going to be double that momentum buying, right? So what happens is you can make money two different ways in the market, right? You can make money when the stock is going up and you buy and you sell when it gets higher. Or you can short the stock, sell at the top and buy as it drops. Now, when the stock goes against you as a short, it can go parabolic up, right? Because of these short squeezes. And so what happens is you have those shorts, as that price action moves to the upside, the shorts are closing out their position or even the brokers are closing out their position because they're saying, hey, we don't like this risk on our books. In fact, Robinhood did that, right? They shut it down. They said nobody else can buy because this is too much risk for us as a broker. And they had to put more money into their accounts because of all the risk that was happening to them, lending out the shares to their clients. So we have those shorts. The price action is going up. The shorts are buying shares to cover. And then you have momentum buyers coming in. They see that this price action is increasing and they jump on board. So we had GameStop, BlackBerry, and AMC. And that perfect recipe for a short squeeze is when you have high short interest and short volume and increasing demand, i.e. volume that is buying. Yeah. So when we look at all of this, right, it's important to understand the difference between short float as well as short volume, right? They are two different things. So the short float or short interest is something that people used to use when we didn't really have the internet at our fingertips. We didn't have all this information easily accessible to us. And this, you can see we have the settlement dates that happen March 15th. And what happens is the short interest and short float are the brokers reporting to FINRA, the Financial Registration Association, the amount of shares short that they're holding in their brokerage house, right? And we also have hedge funds that are supposed to properly report their short positions as well, part of the GameStop debacle. So what happens is they're supposed to report the settlement date of March 15th, and they're supposed to report that by March 17th. And then it is released to the public March 24th. Well, that's now 2 weeks late information, right? It's still pertinent if we start to see that the short volume is increasing every day. But the short volume is going to be much more immediate. As Paul was talking about, there's shortvolume.com and shortvolumes.com. The information right here is taken from shortvolumes.com, and his chart was from shortvolume.com. So this is from GameStop right here. I'm going to show you the chart again a little bit further. So we have the red is the short volume and the green is the long volume. Each one of these spikes is going to be a particular day, right? So you can see on this day we had this much short volume, the red down below, and then above it is all of the buying volume. And that is reported to FINRA at the close of each trading day. Now, this is another chart that you'll be able to see at shortvolumes.com. And it will show you, for example, we have, oh, this is old information, sorry. This is for Tesla. But you can see the percentage from the day, how much was truly shorted, right? Was it more than 50%? Are there a lot of people that are holding their position short overnight? And what I love about shortvolumes.com is that you can see, all right, the last 5 days, for example, 60%. The last 10 days, 56%. At one point, there was XRT, which is the retail ETF that was up to 70% short for the past 50 trading days. And it squeezed up 50%. Now, GameStop. GameStop was that massive one that really squeezed, and part of that had to do with the total number of shares that were available in the public float, right? We have 54 million that are able to be traded person to person throughout the day. Some stocks have very low floats, 20 million, 50 million. Others, like Apple, have 16.9 billion. And it goes back to that supply and demand of economics, right? The more demand, the low supply, the faster the price can increase. So when we see this, hey, look at how we can see the correspondence between the crazy volume, the crazy short volume, all that red volume, and the subsequent price action squeezing up, right? It happened on GameStop. It happened on BlackBerry. When we see that volume is starting to ramp up, many times we're also going to see it, that dark pool print at the bottom, and it ends up, hey, we have the technical analysis, which we cover. Stephanie covers it. In fact, we've got boot camps that we also offer if you choose after the training pit. But we talk about all of this, the technical analysis, the dark pool print, initiating many times that squeeze. Now, it's not always going to be super parabolic, but following that price action, we're able to see where we're going to go from here. And in fact, on AMC, look at what happened. We went parabolic right here, 1873. What do you think that was? A dark pool print. We had a massive dark pool print early in the morning. And sure enough, even though we'd squeezed all the way up, well, we crashed below, right? We crashed back down. And as quickly as these short squeezes move parabolic to the upside, they can drop just as fast when that momentum flips around. And so you need to be aware of what you're getting into. Sometimes newer traders will see this and they're enticed by the rapid growth, but it is very, very volatile. And so you need to be aware of that as well and understand what you're trading, being able to read those ECN books so you know where people are lined up, ready to buy and ready to sell, and how to spot that spoofing, right? So next week, I will be covering the basics. We try to really help traders of all experiences in the training pit. We try to help brand new traders covering the basics of a stock, IPO and floats, and then we go into the more in-depth aspects as well. So I'd love to see you all there next week. Make sure that you take advantage of the special for those first 10 to be able to lock in and get those Counting the Cards of Wall Street. It will really help you guys. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Hope to see you on Monday. And up next is Jay. So I will turn over the mic to Jay.
Thank you, Jane. Hello, everybody. Let me get my screens set up for you. And thanks for spending your Thursday night with us. There we go. Well, everybody, hi from Dallas, just to let you know who I am. And tonight I'm going to share a little bit of the secrets that we use here in the Whisper training room in the Java Pit. So my support specialist duties, I teach the trading platforms. I teach and present on two of the major platforms that we use, TOS, Think or Swim from TD Ameritrade, and SSE, the Street Smart Edge program from Charles Schwab. So I'm going to tell you one of our little secrets tonight, and I'm going to show you. And how do I have this screen set up? I have silver. Both charts are the same 5-minute, 1-day charts. Now I'm going to keep this chart over here on the right empty. And one of the tools that we use, one of the studies that we use in order to enter trades, exit trades, along with volume and prints and levels that we learn about in the training pit is Parsons Pivots. Now, Parsons Pivots is available on a lot of trading platforms. Some of them show a filtered version, such as in TradeStation, and some of them, like TOS, allow you to see the unfiltered version of Parsons Pivots. Yeah, it's kind of tough being in the great state of Texas, and I still drive a car and park in the yard and I eat some lobster. So how do I get Parsons Pivots up on my charts? Okay, there's two ways. The way I like to instruct everybody is this little beaker button here. If I click on this little beaker button, I come to the Edit Studies in Strategies page. Now, Thinkorswim, along with all of your other trading platforms, has tons and tons of studies that you can use. And when you come into the training pit, we kind of show you how you can let go of all those things and just keep it simple by following the rules. So I come right over here to Parsons Pivots. I can click on it once and click Add Select, or I can click on it, double click, 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 and it comes over here to be presented on my charts. Now I'm going to move this over here a little bit to the right so you can see it. It's going to show up on my left chart. Now, this is all the things that I show you during the presentations. We go from the ground up. So if you've never used a trading platform, it doesn't matter which, or you've never used TOS, okay? We start from the ground up as we cycle through it during the year, and we teach you how to set your charts up to trade the Whisper way. So on Parsons Pivots, I have to go in there and make some changes. Okay, now if you don't remember these, don't worry, I'll see you in the training pit. So some of the changes I like to make is I only want to see today's pivot points. If I'm day trading silver today, I'm not really, as my personal opinion, I'm not really concerned about yesterday's pivots. So I like to keep as little on my charts as possible. I'm not going to apply the filters because if I do, you're not going to see all the pivot points. So I like to say no. Now, down the bottom here, if you're not sure, I can't see all the pivots, it's because they're defaulted. Some of them are defaulted off, such as R3, show plot, I got to click it. S3, show plot, I have to click it. Now, I don't make any other changes except for the colors. And I'm going to teach this just like I was teaching in the training pit if we were here tomorrow morning. So I color code my pivots across all platforms. And I usually have 3 different platforms running at one time, all looking at different things. But all the studies, they're all color coded the same. So I just have to sweep my eyes across the monitors, and I can instantly tell, hey, where am I on the chart? So here's how I do it. S3, I keep green. Well, because if it's down at S3, it could be an oversold situation. So it might be a buying opportunity. S2, I've just chosen my favorite color, orange. S1, I make yellow. You'll see why in just a second. PP, I leave the same. And R1, I just reverse it going up the pivots. Now, the last one, R3, way up at the top, I just leave it red because, hey, if we're up there, it might be an overbought situation and I might short them. All right, so let's see what the chart looks like. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to click Apply, and let's look at the chart. So how's the difference of this chart? Now, let me just scroll this in a little bit for you. Let me see, silver, there should be a line up there at 25.60. There it is. It's hiding from me. So here's a chart with the pivots. Here's a chart without the pivots. Without these pivots, it is a personal opinion. You are trading blind. I have come from knowing Stephanie. I've been with Stephanie for over 4.5 years now. When I first met Steph in her teachings, I never used pivot points. I say this in the class. Now I never trade without them. So let's look at the beauty of the pivot points. Now you have to remember, there are more than half of you retail traders out there, and I'm a retail trader myself, who are not using these studies. And you're at a disadvantage because this, maybe you got MACD down here, maybe you got the RSI down here. You'll find you might not need all those things on your chart. So you see over here, where am I buying and selling? Where are the computers buying and selling? That's so important to know. It's something that we teach you. Now, if you do not have the pivots on your charts, you have no idea where are those computers programmed to buy and sell. So glance over here to your left. In the morning, this is pre-market on silver this morning. You can see we opened up, we came up, hit the pivot point where the computers are programmed to sell. It sells all the way down, and guess where it stops? At S1. It decides, the computers say, hey, let's start buying because we're programmed to buy there, and we jump all the way back up to the pivot point. Now, we broke through the pivot point, and who knows if we're going to continue higher, but in this case, we didn't. And look what happened. We just hung out on the pivot point for almost an hour. We went nowhere. Then, bam, we come down, we stop at the pivot point. Now, let's say you have a short entry here. Where would you exit for profit? Well, I would exit right in front of the pivot point. Then we went back up. I would exit in front of the pivot point. We came back down. If you were short and took this as an entry signal, you would exit partial in front of the pivot point. And then we came down again. We hit the next pivot point down. You can't tell that from this chart. Okay, you cannot tell where the computers are buying and selling. So that's the beauty of Parsons Pivot. That's my secret. Now, I have one more secret. And this is a really dark secret, right? Dark pools, dark secrets. Now, what if I can show you, and I do have to change the charts here for just a little bit, and I'm going to use Bank of America. And I'm going to use Bank of America today. And let me get this all set up for you really quick. Okay, here's Bank of America. They're both the same. I'm just trying to get them even so you can get them a little bit better. Now, here's an example of a stock that was basically trading sideways along the pivot, but was not hitting R1 or S1. But what else can we use? Well, in the training pit, we show you something that nobody else has. This is exclusive to the Stock Whisperer. And we can dedicate this, or not dedicate it, we can say thanks to one of our traders who coded this. And I'm going to put the study on the chart. Everybody close your eyes because it's super top secret. I don't want you seeing what it is. And once you are in the training room, we will show you how to set all this up, how to set all these studies up, okay? Now, you're not going to find this study out on Google. You can search it all you want, but the code is not there. We'll give it to you. That's our secret. Okay, so what are these? These are, I'm going to keep it super secret. I'm not even going to tell you what they are, but they're an additional set of pivot points that the computers algorithmically are programmed to trade off of. So you can see here, we have little trades up to the pivot point, stopping at the pivot point on this red candle. Down we go to the next pivot point, stopping at the pivot point. Back up, we stop at the pivot point. All the way back up. So you can use these. We teach you, Stephanie teaches you how to enter and exit trades. And like Paul said, he's teaching, what are you doing, Jay? What am I doing? This is something that you can use, like Paul's going to teach tomorrow on exiting strategies, fear of missing out, to use you to help you exit trades profitably. So look at the difference between what's over here on the left, what's over here on the right. And I can guarantee you that probably 98% of the retail traders are not using this study that is applicable to our room. Okay, and I'm going to leave it at that. And if I see you in the training pit, I review Think or Swim every month. We go over it. Right now, we've just finished it up. And next week, I will be reviewing Tastyworks, Tasty TradeStation, and Fidelity. And then the week after, on March 16th, we'll go into Street Smart Edge from Charles Schwab and the Block Trade Indicator. So those are my secrets. I hope that was helpful to you. And I'll see you Tuesday in the training pit. And I'm going to hand it over with the microphone to Lady Donda.
Okay. Somebody confirmed that we've got sound loud and clear, and we're going to jump right in. Fabulous. Love it when tech is on my side. All right, so we're all sharing what our insights, what our secrets are. And so for those of you who find that you need a little bit of structure in your life and your business to move forward, really that's my best secret, learning and teaching people how to apply the best practices of high performers into their trading business. And, I have found over years of being a coach that there is great success that comes by setting those short-term goals, those mid-term goals, those long-term goals, and really having structure. People will often say that knowledge is power, but honestly, what I've learned as a coach is that knowledge with action is much more powerful. And so I find that a lot of people that we see in the training room have a tremendous amount of knowledge and they've been exposed to a lot, but what is lacking is that they haven't had an opportunity to be guided to take that information and structure it into those goals and apply those best practices to their business. And so that's really my focus in the training room almost every week. That's where I'm focusing. But I also, a couple of months ago, started offering to just review some of my own trades from start to finish, just showing those. And, people have been so grateful to see how it really works from start to finish from somebody that I think is, a novice trader, because this is definitely a newer field for me. So that's what we're going to spend our time today, because honestly, putting this together, I was having to force myself to stop with the print. So I'm going to actually start my timer to respect everybody's time. So let me just hit start. Okay. All right. So let's jump right in, because I have so many things that I'm really anxious to show you guys. All right. So this is the slide that I show every week during the training room, my segment of the training room, the impact of the dark pool prints, examples from print to profit. So the first thing I want to do is share with you where I'm getting these prints. So here's a screenshot of where I'm pulling them. So this is actually from the Java Pit. So up top, that yellow arrow is showing you where Steph is posting all of the prints that we get. She does her bullish above, bearish below. She's also posting her trades in the Java Pit, but in the training room, you get all of the call outs. And then down below in that second section with the second arrow is really where the rest of us are calling out our trades, any levels that we see that are pertinent to entry or exit. And then over here are a lot of things that Steph shares, and I've covered them up because many of them are confidential except for people in the room. And so we're using those as we go through the day. All right, so let's take a look at a recent print on LVS, Las Vegas Sand. And you can see that this was a very large 869,000 print at 5602. And the date of that over on the right is February 5th, so relatively new. And then let's take a look at this on a daily chart. So each of these candles is going to represent a single day of trading. So here's how the chart is set up. You're going to see the ticker symbol up here. You're going to see that the white lines on my chart are prints. The green line is bullish above and the red is bearish below. So again, going back to that organization, this is how I'm able to trade so successfully, because I can look at this chart and see where we're at. And so here are, there's the prints and the bullish above and the bearish below. All right, so you guys with me? Somebody give me a yes. Everybody following my chart? Give me a couple yeses. Thank you, thank you. Just making sure we're good. Fabulous, you guys. Okay, so let me move this and let me show you guys what we did, how this stock traded. Okay, so let's look at this closely. Okay, so right there is the day of the print. So you see where that red line starts, or I'm sorry, the white line starts. And let me get my laser so you can. All right, so right there is the day of the print, okay? And then you can see that we went from 5602 to $66. All right, so that's the impact of these prints. Can you imagine knowing that you have up to this 10-point move once you get to the right entry level? It's crazy, I'm telling you. So I'm going to show you guys some, let's just do another one. So I traded this several times all the way up. I didn't actually go back and pull my trades to show you on this on LVS, but I traded it multiple times. Although on the next one I did. And I actually asked Steph, do you want me to include trades? Because just so you know, in the trading room and the Java pit and the trading pit and the Java pit, we're really careful to not, make anyone feel uncomfortable who's trading smaller sizes or smaller gains. We just don't include how much we've made. So it's very rare for any of us to do that, but I felt like for those of you who need to see the impact of and the power of these prints, if I were you, I felt like I'd need to see it. So I've included a few. All right, so here's another one on NKLA, Nikola, and you can see the prints there, 498 at 21.25, and this was over on the right from January 13th, still relatively recently. So we had two prints, so 1.9 million and then that 498. So let's take a look at this on the daily chart. All right, so on the daily chart, we see this juicy big candle day. These are the days Donda loves to trade. I love to trade big candle days. That's my thing. The more that you work with Steph and the more that you get a feel for it, you know when it's ready to go. Like you learn the patterns, you learn the tricks. So those were, so again, here's just the setup. White lines are prints, green is bullish above, reddish bearish below. So you guys can see the chart there. Right, so we can see those, that's the day. Actually, I traded this a couple times. I'm not sure. I guess it's that day that I'm giving you my trades on. So I want you to look at this on a 5-minute chart, okay? So over here, this is just where this stock was trading prior to it moving. So, nothing exciting is going on over here. I don't know why my laser, but it's there. Okay, so I just want you to see that beforehand, it's just kind of flatlining, right? And then we have this explosive move. So let's look at the day that I'm talking about trading it on a 5-minute chart, okay? So obviously a nice move, right? Nice juicy move. And then here's something that I want to show you because here's the same day on the SPY. So the SPY was not so happy that day, right? It had come down pre-market and, it wasn't, and it was still rolling. I could have gotten the whole day there. So it wasn't like this was a banner day with the SPY, right? So the SPY's doing what it's doing. And here's our good old stock off the print making me money over here. And that's the power. So let's look at my entries and exits on this stock. So my entries were at 25.58 and my exit was at 28.85. So I was up 327 for 300 shares for 981, and that was only one of my trades that day. So clearly we love those trades, right? And again, big juicy candle days are really my very favorite. And then that's just, I don't know why it's slow, but that's just from my TOS program. I just snipped it for you guys. Sorry, it might have been plus 367. Anyway, it's 981. Okay, so I want to, So I want to kind of show you how that looked coming in. So there are my entries and exits. There are the prices. There's that entry point. There's the exit price, and there's my exit. I'm not trying to peg the top. I'm trying to make a daily amount of money that I set as my goal. And I do have a daily goal, and I do structure my trades to meet those goals. And I do calculate in percentage of stop losses based on the trading criteria that Steph has taught me. So you see, I could have gotten a little bit more, but not a whole lot. I mean, I got what I came to do, right? And so I planned my trade and I traded my plan. And that for me is success. The market is always moving. It's always going to be that I'm missing out on a trade. I just want to get my trade that I came for. And it's easier to do that because the prints always have a big move. All right, so, and it's so interesting. Is anybody else finding this interesting? Is that like a nice juicy move off that print? Thank you, beautiful, right? Because my non-trading friends are not so into this. So I'm so jazzed that I get to have you guys care about it. I'm like, wait till you see what's coming because I've been waiting all day long to show you guys what's coming next. So, and yes, I really do get this way because it's crazy. Wait, you'll see what I mean. Let's look at HBQ. Okay, so here's our print, very large, 1.9 million, 25.68. There's Steph's levels, bullish above, bearish below. That was from January, I think. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, January 11th. So relatively new. Yeah, they do. They are, but they, you know what? Yeah, you're right. They are very tickled for me. Honestly, they really are. So I have great friends. All right. So here is, I'm going to show you two trades, but this is one from January 26th. So again, you guys know that the white lines are my prints. That's bullish, bearish, right? Okay. So you get those all set up. All right, there's the day I traded on this one. And here's what it looks like in the 5-minute. Okay. All right, so we're heading down. Everything's lovely. It's just fine. It continued to drop. There was my entry, 24.97, so right up here. I didn't go back and I scaled out, but I did really well on this trade. I mean, you know, I scaled out, but this isn't really the interesting part. That's just to set up the interesting part. So check this out. All right, by the way, these are the callouts. We always have callouts in the training room in the Java pit. So I was HBQ, WW is worth watching. HBQ looks weak. So there's a whole bunch of callouts that we do, but I just wanted to put that in to remind myself to let you guys know. So a few days later, so up here, see this is the 29th, the last trade was on the 26th. So on the 29th, let me rush through these. New trade, 5-minute chart. All right, so you guys got this set up. There's my bearish. All right, so check this out. So I say for anyone in HPQ, it's nearing an older print from 1217 at 890,000 at 2418. Everybody say in your mind, 2418, all right? 2418. Okay, I'm watching for a bounce or a pause there. Okay. Let's just take a little look-see. Look at there. Look at my print, 2418. Look right there. Look where it bounced. Now, if somebody doesn't go holy moly or geez a Pete or what? Holy cow. Okay, so let's look. Anybody else want to see how it performed after that? Somebody better say yes because you're going to want to see it. Thank you, print bone, right? So check this out. All right, so it goes below. There's my print right there. All right. Okay. Right? So you can see all this, it doesn't know what to do with itself, right? So I'm looking at this and I knew it was going to do that because Steph has taught me how to trade off these prints. So look at this. There's that line and it just, you know, it just ponged around as Steph says, right? So here's what's interesting. So I traded it 2 days to the downside over there in that section, right? I think that's it. Hang on. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, hang on. I want to just show you. Yeah, that was it hitting that print right there. I don't know about just the hesitancy at that level. But then check out what it did later. It goes, oh, you guys, it bounced up and it had this huge move. I think I have this in here. All right, so here's what I want to tell you. How in the world do I keep up with all those prints? Well, there's a wonderful person in our room called E-Man, and he has created a project for us. And the short version is, it's a gift to all mankind, and it keeps up with everything for us. So when I see this green right here, I know that that stock is trading above Steph's bullish, and this one I know is trading below it. This is one of the ways that we can trade so very many stocks. And so it's just an amazing thing. And at the end of the day, we get this printout of all the prints that came in and they're color coded by sector. So it's just a thing of beauty. All right, so I'll go back and do questions in a minute. I'm going to rush through my slides and I want to show you, right, so there was my entry and I bought it back. And then here's what that looks like. So this is what it's like to trade when you have confidence in the system. So there was my entry right there at the yellow arrow. And then here's my exit. So I got the bulk of the move, right? And again, 24.18 and my exit was 24.29. So I gave it a moment and I said, nope, I don't like the way this is, you're hesitating, I'm out. So, all right, I think we have just a few more slides, so I'm going to rush Yeah, there was the slide I wanted to show you. Sorry, it was out of order. So here's where I was trading to the downside, and you can see after it broke back above that print, then we had our real move, and I traded it to the upside. Okay, last few slides are just crazy things. These are just the slides that let you see, again, the power of the print, and this is why I keep my chart so clean. So you can see right here, there's the print. See everybody right there? And then look what this stock did. It came up, hit that, and changed direction. Okay? So somebody else has got to be like, wow. I mean, come on, you guys. Don't you find that kind of interesting? You know I'm going to wait till somebody says yes. I've just learned if you just wait. Thank you. See? Okay. All right. There you go. All right. So here's another one. Here's the print right there. It comes up, hits it, and there it goes, right? Now, that doesn't mean you trade it there, by the way, but just saying, I just want you to see how these stocks are responding to these prints. So here's another crazy slide. Here's over here on the left is the SPY. You can see right there. So the SPY is clearly not having a happy day, right? Very weak. But look at my stock that I'm trading, Pepsi, just having a happy day, right? That's power. That's the power of the print. Market's doing one thing, my stock's doing another thing, right? All right, I think I have one more. Okay, seriously, look at this stock. Down we go. We're dropping, we're dropping, we're dropping. All of a sudden, so you guys ever wonder, what in the world is that crazy wick? Has anybody ever thought that? Anybody ever thought, whoa, what in the world's that crazy? Okay, now you know. Look at that. So we're all the way down here, and all of a sudden, we're up, and we test it. And when you're in the room, you'll understand how to protect against that and what that is and all of that. So I'm telling you this, it's like black magic or something. It's crazy. All right, so I've gone over our time, but I do want to tell you that today, before I got ready for this in the training room, I said, hey, you guys, we're doing this talk tonight just for people who are curious about the training room. If anybody has a minute after the bell, if you would just post like, do you find the training room helpful? Which I know they do because they're so gracious and telling us that all the time, right? But I just thought you would appreciate seeing some of the comments. They're all from today, Thursday, right, literally right after the bell. And so I said, have you found the training room helpful? Yes, we're setting up charts and setting up schedule in the partnership program, which is something we just started where everybody gets a partner. I'm new to the training pit, but already see the value. The coaching sessions have been very informative, as has the sense of community. Gary says, absolutely, especially to set up your system and to understand how to get, and he means to work with the dark pool and to understand how to get started mapping trades. The explanation in the morning of the whispers is incredibly helpful to understanding the process. And then Savio, who I believe is from another country, the way the journey of a trader investor has been designed really comes out at thedarkpools.com. My journey started in searching for Stephanie after I came across her in another investment publication. What I discovered was a whole trading ecosystem that Stephanie has built, which is totally true. Over the last 4 months, I've quickly grown to respect Donda, Jane, Paul, and Jay. Their presentations rock. Their teaching impart knowledge each day. The journey starts at the training room. That's very gracious. And then I'll second that. Stephanie, you have a world-class training team, which is very sweet. All right, so that's me down bottom. Hi, by the way. And no, I love you all, but I wasn't coming on camera. Not tonight, but Wednesday next week, I will be teaching a 3-week series, Becoming the CEO of Your Trading Business. So I encourage you guys to circle back and join us. I'd love to see you there. It's an exciting place to be. All right, that's it. I'm at 16 minutes, which is over. 16 minutes and 53 seconds, but I couldn't talk any faster, and I just couldn't leave anything out because it was all so good. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. And Steph, back to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Donda. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So what was your favorite thing that you learned this evening? We always like to know because we'll do it again. We'll do more of it next time. So tell me, what did you love tonight? What did you learn? What do you want to learn more of? That is always the big question. I'm going to just try to share my screen again. It might take a little while. Sometimes it gets stubborn. If not, that's okay. But let me just tell you a little bit about what I'm going to be doing at 3 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Yes, Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern. Come join me in the training pit. What I do is I fire up my computer. I open up all my software. and I start to map out the whisper of the day, which is what I showed you earlier in my presentation. I start with the SPY, and you see me doing it live in the training pit. Actually watch me typing out each level live. You can see my screen. And then once I'm done with it, I post a picture, I put it in the alert tab, and we do a video. The video I do live for you, so you are the first person to see it, because a lot of you might want to trade pre-market, right? You might want to get in and trade because sometimes they move early on, so at least you'll have the levels before anybody else. Most of the time we trade it once the market's opened, and then we put the video as well in the alert tab. I have given you the video from this morning in the alert tab where it says Dark Pool Whisper of the Day, video 3421, so you can kind of get a feel about it. It's about 10 minutes long. Sometimes I talk a little bit more. I teach throughout, so I'm kind of showing you why I'm mapping out these levels, what I am, the retracement trades, and all that good stuff. And then throughout the day, I share my screen and I put in the alert tab all the unusual dark pool prints, because we get a lot of them. They just keep coming in all day long, and I just want to show you only the ones that are most likely going to have an effect on the stock. I'm very picky because we get a lot, but 26 years I'm doing this, so I know what's unusual. For example, I knew this move on the QQQs was going to come down hard. Why? Because we never have the QQQs lead a correction. They're usually the last to correct and the first to bounce back. But when we started to see them coming in heavy, I knew let's attack the Qs. There's something going on with technology. So, here we go. I'll be able to share my screen here. So this is our website, thedarkpools.com, and you can go under services, and you can learn more about the training pit by clicking right on that link. It's the first step. And every day, our traders, our instructors, they are traders. I only pick traders to teach to you guys that have been trained in the dark pool. And every day we do a live presentation at 11 o'clock Eastern because, quite frankly, we're trading. Yeah, we're trading. So we don't want to do a presentation while we're trading, although Donda the other day was trading and doing her presentation on Wednesday. I saw you, Donda. Donda was sneaking them in. That's okay. There are some days, I know when Jane does hers, the market loves to go down. Yeah, it has these wild moves whenever Jane is doing hers on Monday and Thursday. Jay's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he's always teaching about platforms. I teach every Wednesday with Donda. Donda comes on first and warms up the crowd. No, she's amazing. Isn't she amazing? And then I come on and I teach about the dark pools. And, my presentation is always new. It's based on what's happening today. I show you trades I've been in, how I've mapped out the whispers, day trading, swing trading, how I do seasonality, the futures. Sometimes I do cryptocurrency. Whatever's really hot and I feel like talking about, I will teach you what's happening that day. And Paul, fantastic. Paul will teach you a lot of technical stuff, the ECN books. He will teach you the DOS Trading Pro platform. He teaches how to draw trend lines. He teaches options, you guys, options, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Yeah, all in the training pit. It's a really great room. And you know what? It's only $99 a month. I know, it's crazy. It's a really good deal if you're working and you can't be there live. Everything's recorded. We put it into the room drive. So go ahead at the end of the day, download it. It's yours forever. You can watch it as much as you want. But if you're there live, you can ask questions to all of the instructors. That's what we're there for. When we're doing our presentations, just don't ask us questions when the bell rings, because guess what? We're trading. All right. So from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock, really good time to ask questions while we're doing our presentation. So today, as I want to just show you one more time, the first 10 people, we have about 7 people already signed up. Matthew, do you think we can maybe, for anybody that signs up tonight, I don't want anybody to feel that, hey, I missed it. If you sign up tonight for the training pit, try it out. I'd like to give you this workshop. I want you to really learn as much as you can. We won't send it out till the morning though, okay? In the morning, we'll send it out to you. But anybody that signs up tonight, I don't want you freaking out if you can't get it in that fast enough to sign up. We will give you this workshop. All right, Counting the Cards of Wall Street, Part 1. And you're just going to learn so much. If you have any questions, you can email me, Stephanie at the Dark Pools. If you're not here live tonight and, hey, I wanted to ask a question, I wasn't able to. Yeah, Stephanie with an F, Stefanie at thedarkpools.com, and we would be happy to help. All right. So have a great night, everybody, and thank you so much. We will be doing these live webinars once a month. That's our goal. So if you have any ideas of what you would like us to teach you, or talk about, please go ahead and send me an email. Yeah. Give us some ideas. We like to have fun. As you can see, we're a bunch of characters. We have a lot of fun while we're trading. Yeah, there's nothing like loving what you do for a living, right? Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, I hope you guys really learned a lot tonight. Stay safe and have a great night, everybody.